It's always been a land that kings, rulers, travelers and traders have found fascinating. And it's no wonder, then, that Tambapani or Taprobane, as the ancient Greek mariners dubbed her, Serendib, as the seafarers of old Arabia named her, or that the Pearl of the Orient, sitting as she does like the teardrop, is indeed a land of wonder. It's a land whose genesis lies with the Indian prince Vijaya, who fell in love with the resident queen Kuveni to beget the valiant lion race, as is chronicled in the literary masterpiece of the Mahavansa, penned as far back as the 6th century AD. And Ceylon, as more recently coined through British colonization, and now a very proud and free Sri Lanka, lived through the beginning of civilization in this part of the world to herald unequaled architectural masterpieces, unheralded bounties of nature, and a melting pot of culture, religions and ethnicities, to paint a canvas of multi-hued vibrancy that truly denotes paradise today. Visitors old and visitors new find Sri Lanka fascinating. The blend of a modern corporate and commercial environment with far-reaching tourist pleasures in such a small landmass is indeed unmatched. Come, take a walk through Serendipity, a traveler's paradise, or an ideal destination to mix business with pleasure, and let Sri Lanka embrace you in the warm, unbridled hospitality and serendipitous delights that's truly an experience to be discovered. Leaving Colombo on the way to the Central Highlands, you may spy some elephants walking side by side with modern vehicles whizzing by, serving the needs of man. But at the world's only elephant orphanage in Pinnawala, you come face to face with these semi-tame pachyderms, enjoying a bath in the cool waters of the river or indulging in their routine-based lives, with the matriarchal hierarchy very evident even in this civilized environment. On the outskirts of the hill capital of Kandy are the sprawling 147-acre Peradeniya Botanical Gardens. Today, the expanded gardens have resplendent details of Sri Lankan flora with the Avenue of the Royal Palms, a spice garden, orchid and cacti houses, herbarium and a museum of plants, all colorful, different and not to be missed. Nestled in the foothills of the hill country lies the axis of traditional Sri Lankan culture, Kandy, which truly represents a people of the living past. Originally known as Senkadagala, it became a religious center in the 14th century when the sacred tooth relic of the founder of Buddhism, Prince Siddhartha Gautama of Nepal, who is revered as Lord Buddha, was smuggled in the hair of an Orissan princess to be kept safe from sacrilegious elements. Today, the Temple of the Tooth is one of the most renowned temples in the country for both devotees and visitors alike. Numerous kings set up their kingdoms in this well-fortified city, as evidenced by the unique architecture that speaks of ancient grandeur. Once a year in August, the city of Kandy is transformed to host the largest and most grandiose pageant in Asia, the Kandy Perahera. Winding its way over 2 hours through the streets of Kandy is heady, colorful and fascinating. From the fire eaters to whip crackers, hundreds of traditional dancers, thundering drummers and over 100 majestically decorated elephants carrying relics from adjacent temples guarded jealously by the numerous temple trustees, all paving the way for the piece de resistance of the pageant. The caparisoned majesty of the chosen pachyderm who carries the sacred tooth relic on its annual pilgrimage of Kandy. Shrouded in secrecy and nurtured by colonial rulers, in the lush green panorama of the verdant hills, swathed in mist and cascading waterfalls, lies Sri Lanka's tea plantations. From here is birthed the world's best cup of tea. The well-branded famed Ceylon tea is distinctive in taste and flavor. The 2 leaves and a bud, lovingly picked by hand, passes through a manufacturing process perfected over the years to yield a brew savoured by connoisseurs the world over. Just 1.5 hours from Kandy, Nuwara lives up to its name of Little England in all its hues and colours. First discovered by a British hunting party in 1825, the allure of this little town, sitting at an elevation of 2,200 metres above sea level, is heightened with its typically British country architecture, cool climes, and a tea-planting fraternity who continue to live life as the genteel country Englishman would. With an imprint on a boulder believed to be that of Lord Buddha's footprint, the holy mountain of Sripada, or Adam's Peak as it is known in the Western world, holds special significance for all 4 primary religions in the country. With Buddhists claiming a visit by the Gautama himself, Hindus saying the footprint resembles the dance of Shiva, Muslims opining it as the first spot that Adam set foot on earth, and Catholics believing the footprint to be of St. Thomas, the first apostle to preach in South India. Thousands of devotees take on the uphill trudge to the venerated site each year. Perhaps the most awesome and probably forbidding region in Sri Lanka is Houghton Plains. The nature reserve, sitting at a windswept elevation of 2,134 meters, has one of the most dramatic panoramas ever seen on earth. An expanse of misty grassland, interrupted by scraggly trees, icy cold streams and tumbling waterfalls. The plains are uninhabited, save for a few sambar on the prowl, but it's world's end that's most fascinating. Just a short walk from Houghton Plains. Overlooking the largest ravine, the spectacular hiking and uneven trails lends itself enticingly to mountain biking, adventurous walking or challenging climbing. Given the country's small size, the spectacular golf courses in Sri Lanka are equally challenging and beautifully located. With one within the city of Colombo and another in the cool hills of Nuwara, just a short drive from Kandy, lie probably the most spectacular golfing locations in the world, the Victoria Golf Course. Built to USGA specifications and maintaining precision quality, the picturesque backdrop of hills and a lake are the perfect foil for the undulating terrain which makes a game of golf both challenging and exciting. It is now a known fact that centuries before the birth of Christ, at a time when the Greek Empire was flourishing in the Mediterranean and other regions were just emerging from the Stone Age, Sri Lanka was already a land of highly advanced civilization. The ancient cities, as evidenced today by remnant architectural features, were well ordered, linked by an expansive road network and nurtured by a technologically advanced agricultural system, all masterminded by a series of kings and rulers whose sole vision was to etch their permanent signature on everything they did. It is verified that human settlement in the land began as far back as 500 BC, and that the cultural triangle, as it is now known, comprising the ancient kingdoms of Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa and Sigiriya, with all other historical and religiously important sites in between, were the heartbeat of advancement. While the intervening years may have destroyed the systems the former monarchs established with great love and care, there still remains a great deal to imbue from these historic sites in the north-central province of the country. Anuradhapura was the first formalized capital center of the Kingdom of Lanka, and though in ruins today, displays some of the world's mightiest masses of monumental masonry, second only to the pyramids of Egypt. According to the Mahavamsa, the kingdom was founded by 3 Anuradhas, which explains its name, and remained the capital of Sri Lanka for 1,400 years, ruled by no less than 123 kings, spreading its influence from the Tiber to the Yellow Sea, sporting 3-storied houses, intricate pleasure gardens, streets organized according to artisan classes, a thriving industry, a bejeweled palace of 1,000 chambers, gold pinnacled dagobas rising hundreds of feet into the sky, and hydraulic marvels that to this day baffled the most learned experts. Anuradhapura also retains its exalted position as the cradle of Buddhism, with the world's oldest historically documented tree demanding worship of Buddhist devotees unbroken for over 25 centuries. The Sri Mahabodhi is home to the sapling of the Bo tree, which gave shelter to Lord Buddha prior to enlightenment and was carried to Sri Lanka in 3rd century BC by Sangamitta, the founder of the first order of Buddhist nuns. The religious grounding is in evidence everywhere in the kingdom, with spectacular dagobas and handcrafted stone statues like the phenomenal 39-foot Aukana or sun-eating Buddha statue